That morning, in a modest animal shelter, a little girl followed her mother with eyes shining with excitement. Today, Emma was finally going to meet the dog she had hoped to adopt. But what she didn't know yet was that she was about to witness an act of compassion that would change the fate of a dog on the brink of death. Emma, an 8-year-old girl, was eager. For months, she had dreamed of this moment. She had seen the neighbor's dog playing in the garden, jumping, running, free and joyful. Her heart raced at the thought that maybe one day she too would have a four-legged friend. That day, she secretly hoped she would find the perfect dog, but what she discovered would defy all her expectations. As Claire, her mother, guided her through the shelter, a slight shiver ran down Emma's spine as she spotted a cage at the back of the room. A pit bull lying in a corner seemed to be the only lost soul among the crowd of joyful puppies. This dog didn't bark, didn't wag its tail, and its gaze seemed lost in an invisible world. There was no energy in its body, just a deep sadness visible in its glazed eyes. "Look, Mom," Emma said, her voice trembling with worry. "He looks so sad." Claire approached and observed. The pit bull appeared ill, fragile, exhausted. It was a dog that had suffered too much. At that moment, Claire knew what was coming. A veterinarian had said, "We have to let him go. His suffering is too great. There's no hope left." But Emma, in her childlike innocence, refused to accept it. "He needs someone to love him," Emma murmured with determination, her eyes fixed on the dog as if he were already hers. But it wasn't that simple. Rex, as he was called, had been sick for too long. His ribs were visible beneath his dull fur, his eyes filled with sadness and pain. He had been there, in this shelter, for months. No one had come to adopt him, and his condition worsened every day. The staff had already decided it was time to end his suffering. They thought it was an act of compassion, but Emma's arrival would change everything. As she approached the cage, Emma gently stretched her hand through the bars. This simple gesture would change everything. Her little finger brushed Rex's muzzle, and unexpectedly, something happened. The dog, who seemed defeated, slowly blinked and sniffed the little girl's outstretched hand. At that moment, a heavy silence fell over the room. Even the vet seemed frozen, unsure of what to do. What was happening defied all the rules, all expectations. Rex, the dog who was supposed to die, was responding, and not in any ordinary way. He was touched. Minutes stretched on, the air thick with tension. Emma's heart raced. She could not imagine any other outcome than adopting this dog. "Everything will be okay," she murmured to Rex in a calm, almost unreal voice. "I will be your friend." Rex's gaze fixed on her, and at that moment, it seemed as if light was returning to his eyes. Emma hadn't just found a dog. She had found a being who, like her, needed to feel that he still had meaning, that he still had a chance. Claire moved, stood beside her daughter, watching this strange and emotional scene. She knew that, despite all the logical reasons to let the dog go, there was something inexplicable about this meeting. Destiny seemed to be unfolding right before her eyes. And then, Emma did something unexpected. Without saying a word, she reached into her pocket, took out a small crumpled piece of paper, and with touching precision, unfolded it in front of everyone. It was a drawing, a simple drawing of a dog with a heart above its head, and beneath it, these clumsy but sincere words: "I will be your friend." This gesture, so simple in appearance, was a clear message. This dog, this suffering pit bull, was part of her destiny. He was hers. This drawing wasn't just part of Emma's effort to save Rex. It was her declaration of intent, a heartfelt cry to show that she believed in this dog, that she believed he could still experience love, joy, and peace. At that moment, Claire felt her heart tighten, but she understood. She understood that her daughter had just changed this dog's fate. "You're right," Claire said, her voice full of emotion. "He needs you, Emma. He needs us." Her mother's words, full of sweetness, resonated in the air. The decision was made. This moment, this unexpected turning point, would mark Rex and Emma's lives forever. It was no longer about comforting a sick dog. It was about redemption, hope, and the strength that, even in the darkest situations, love and compassion can offer a new chance. And as Claire signed the adoption papers, Emma tenderly held Rex in her arms. This dog, who had seemed ready to give up, had found a new reason to live. He was no longer alone. He had a family. And together they would walk toward a future full of love and healing. This moving story of Rex and Emma shows us that there is no hopeless situation as long as there is a heart ready to give and receive. Love can truly save lives, and sometimes it's the smallest hands that have the power to change the world around them.